back to the Higher Heart Warrior channel. My name is Hadija, and today I wanted to do a reading for you on finding out what was your profession in your past life. I have this deck here, Practical Guidance for Life, career cards, and I thought it would be pretty cool to see what your profession was in a past life. So, also, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. So we're going to do a couple of piles, probably 3. So we're going to jump right in and get some of these career cards for pile 1. Pile 2. No. Oh, that. Yep. Okay. And pile 3. I hope you're doing well. This is meant to be kind of a lighter video compared to the last 2 shadow work readings that I did. So that's okay. Pile 2. That was a lot. And pile 3. Great. Let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to cover. Also, all of my readings include Reiki healing infused into them. So if you'd like to receive that healing, you can go ahead and just say yes out loud or in your mind and set the intention to receive that healing. Unless I state otherwise, all of my videos do have Reiki in them. This is the Past Life Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. Okie. And then we're going to get some blocks and some actions you can take, because I find that past life energies do affect current life challenges. So all right, let's get into the pile selectors. Gonna do some numbers first, and the timestamp's going to be in the description, so you can look at I'll put into the description the time for the pile selector, so I can show you the cards, flip them over, show them to you, and then you can choose your pile that way, or you can just go based off of whichever pile you're called to. All right, and we'll get you some letters. Okay. Zodiac signs. And angel numbers. Alrighty, I will see you at the pile selection. So, pile 1 is for you if you've been seeing the number 777. If you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or Venus in Leo, Capricorn, Virgo, or Gemini. If you've been seeing the letters M, V, Y, or W, or the numbers 52, 33, 13, or 14. Pile 2 is for you if you've been seeing the angel number 1515. If you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or Venus in Aries, Taurus, Aquarius, Sagittarius, or Cancer. If you've been seeing the letters S, I, G, or Z, or the numbers 47, 31, 8, or 38, pile 2 is for you. And then pile 3, if you've been seeing the angel number 1919, if you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or Venus in Libra, Pisces, or Scorpio. You've been seeing the letters X, H, N, or R, or the numbers 32, 54, 43, 16, or 63, then pile 3 is for you. And again, timestamps are in the description. I will see you at your pile. Welcome pile number 1. So this is your pile. If you've been seeing the number 14, 13, 20, 33, 52, the letters W, Y, V, or M, the number 777, or you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or Venus in Gemini, Virgo, Leo, or Capricorn. So today's reading, we're going to be getting some information on your past life career. What was your profession in your past life? And how is that affecting this life? If it's affecting it at all. So let's start. And then also there's a block card and an action card. But let's see. Counselor. In a past life, you were a counselor. You helped others believe in themselves by welcoming them with an open heart of compassion. Okay. I think too, the reason it's important for you to be aware of this is because there may be something about in this life kind of not understanding why people tell you their whole stories, their life story. And it's because of this past life influence. You have ideation, reflection, balance. I love that balance came out right next to alignment, because when things are in alignment, we're in balance. Like it's sort of a synonym. There's a lot of symmetry, circles in these cards. Because we have ideation with the circle, and then reflection, 2 circles, and then 1, and then that in and of itself, circle, double, circle, fold it. It's okay. So pile 1, there's something about this past life profession of being a counselor, and you know, I don't know exactly what era your past life was in, so it's kind of hard to be super specific. But even if you weren't necessarily like a counselor with a degree and everything, you were still somebody who counseled others. And I think the reason that the circles, the balance, is because in that life you were able to help people to, like it says here, to see themselves and believe in themselves in a way that without your counsel they wouldn't have been able to. And so this life, I feel like you're getting reciprocation for all the good you did in that last life. Archangel Raguel, justice, discipline, harmony. When I think harmony, I think balance. The justice card is literally, like, there's so much, okay. Pile 1. I think it's kind of clear that in this life, you're getting rewarded for all the counseling you gave to others, and it's being reflected back onto you. And if it hasn't already in some way, which I think it has, maybe not in an obvious way, but if it hasn't already, it will be restored. Like the balance will be restored if you're going through a little bit of a tough time right now. Let me see. So the action you can take, partnership. I trust people and the universe to support and strengthen me in everything I do. Ooh, fear of success. Being successful does not mean I will be abandoned. Success is doing what makes my soul sing. So there's a little bit of an underlying, you may be more used to helping others than receiving that help also. Because nobody's ever rose to the occasion to actually support you in the way that you also supported others. And so I think what that past life career is showing you in this life is a way to be able to go into partnership with others. It's basically influencing and reflecting back to you that you need to open yourself up to trust people, to allow them to show up for you, to bring things into balance, to reflect back to you the loving, the care, the belief that you gave to others in the past life, in this life. The idea that you are worthy of receiving that. Right now, though, the thing is, there's a little bit of like a hesitancy to open up to other people, especially in partnerships, because then what happens if they actually do what they say they're going to do and they actually show up for you the way that you show up for others? You may get attached. And then what happens if it goes away? I think that's a big deal for you, pile one. And I totally understand it. I understand, I empathize with that. It's just you're keeping yourself away from the joy of being in partnership with others, of receiving that counsel that you so freely gave. And you could still be doing this in this life as well. The point is to reflect on why it may be hard for you to be imbalanced in partnerships, why you tend to give more than you receive. Because at its root, it kind of comes from a place of control. If I can give more, it's a little bit, I'm trying to think of the right words to say. It's a little bit counterintuitive, like, but the brain doesn't always work intuitively. Like it's almost like, okay, if I can give and give and give, I'm supposed to receive, right? But there's a part of you that knows that you won't be able to receive because you're choosing to give to people who aren't capable of giving back. And the people who are capable, you're kind of blocking them. Let's see how you can work through this fear. Well, you have the moon facing the unknown, facing the, not necessarily the unknown, facing, well, yes, it is the unknown. It's the unknown of if this partnership, if there's one in particular you're thinking of, or partnerships in general, if it is going to work out, if you do put in that effort, if you do open up, if you do trust, it is a little bit of a risk because they're, people, people. And the thing with that is, though, people can surprise us. People can rise to the occasion if given the opportunity. The key is, though, if they aren't able to rise to the occasion, to not take it personally. Also, there's a call to kind of switch the perspective of like, oh, but what if I open up to this partnership or these people and I get vulnerable and I ask them for help and then they don't deliver how I want it to be delivered. And it's like, well, what if you flip that? What if they do deliver? What if they can be supportive? What if they do believe in you? What if they do welcome you? Flipping it, getting excited about it, and thinking of it in a more optimistic sense is ultimately how you can learn from this past life profession. And I'm also curious to see if this profession, if counseling is something that would be good for you to do in this life as well. I would say this is more focused. So past life, you were a counselor, right? In this life, focusing on like a different profession would be good, because there's a need for transformation. So yeah, not being a counselor in this life, and then maybe just receiving counseling. All right, that's what I have for you, pile one. This was interesting, and if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. I do post every week, every Saturday, 8 a.m., and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. All right, so pile number 2, this is your pile if you've been seeing the letter Z, G, I, or S, the numbers 47, 31, 8, or 38, the angel number 1515, or you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or your Venus in Cancer, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus, or Aries. Or you could have just liked pile 2 and chose pile 2 for no other reason other than you usually choose the number 2. So today's reading is about your past life profession. What was your past life profession? And how is that affecting this life? Also, what is it called? The show, the Nutcracker. It's not a show. It's I can't think of the word. Why can't it? It's not a musical. The ballet. Geez. So ballerinas, ballerino, maestros, orchestra conductors. Those could have also been previous past lives for you, or not. Take it if it resonates. But let's see what we have for you, pile number 2. Legislator. Like, okay, wait, that is like the complete, like, how do you go from orchestra conductor to legislator? Okay. All right, so in a past life, pile number 2, you could have been a legislator, or a political figure, or a lobbyer, basically somebody who worked in the government of some sort. It says, I work through political, legislative, and lobbying channels to promote harmony among all beings. That's not always the case, but that's what the card says. I mainly wanted to use this deck because I wanted to see about past life careers and how it could be influencing this life. I don't know about all I like the career titles, just not sure about all the words. Anyway, so that could be something for you, pile 2. It could be you're very particular about putting your stamp of approval on things in this life because of this past life as a legislator. You could also be somebody who's very analytical, specific, particular. You use your words wisely. Okay, we have anxiety here. I could imagine being a legislator could most definitely be anxiety inducing given the scope of responsibilities you have. So it could be now in this life, it's harder for you to really take on responsibility because of this underlying anxiety of getting it wrong. So we have loss, reversal of fortune, and it's in reverse. So to me, given the context of this reading, I feel like something about this career as a legislator in the past, whether it be like the responsibility of having that level of authority and power, because that there is power and authority in being a legislator. It could be bringing in a sort of, like I said before, not wanting to take on responsibility for others in a broader sense because of the fact that you could be wrong, you could make a mistake, and then it could flip everybody's life upside down. I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of deep. All right, let's see what the block is for this life. Fear of failure. Fear of making a mistake. So in order to not make a mistake, to not lose, you just don't make a choice at all, which is kind of a choice. So it says, fear failure. I need not fear failing because my destiny is secure in the loving hands of the universe. And the action you can take, strategy, is to make a plan. It's time for strategy and concentration. The solution I seek is a combination of logic and intuition. And I mentioned before that you could be a very logical person, but there's a need, like it says here, to kind of combine logic and intuition. How very interesting. I wonder. And then also with this 15-15 creativity, I feel like in this life, you're more creative than you were in the past life. Because as a legislator, I don't see, it's not your stereotypical way of being creative. Like there's creative ways of wording things. You could be a writer in this life. You could be a wordsmith. But you're very particular about your words. You overthink your words. But I think back to what I was saying, I kind of jumped from there to there because it just caught my eye. But I think there's something about having more faith in your intuition leading you. Because yes, there's a need for you to strategize and to concentrate on something. What is it that they need to concentrate on? And how does being a legislator in a past life, what do they need to focus on? A choice. So there's something about So there's something about in this life, the influence of being so logical and analytical from the past life is kind of something that you shy away from to like a little extent for some of you. Some of you shy away from it. Some of you are all in analytical, but it's to the point where it brings you to a state of anxiety because you're overthinking the various possibilities of how you could possibly lose. And so then you just get stuck in analysis paralysis instead of being open to making a plan. So let's say you make plan A. Plan A doesn't pan out how you want. Have a backup plan. Have plan B. In case A doesn't work, you have plan B. For others of you, though, it could be that that is literally the issue here, is that you strategize too much. You strategize too much. You don't allow your emotions to have a say or to be a factor. You don't have a good work-life balance. You're too focused on the physical aspects of everything while the emotional gets cast aside, and that's creating a level of emotional imbalance. Especially when it comes to the plans that you have not working out. The thing is, though, to counteract the effects of this past life energy, knowing that there's no such thing as failure is a good thing, reminding yourself of that. Also reminding yourself that you need to have a balance between logic and intuition, especially when it comes to plans and creating the life that you want. Interesting. All right. Let me know if that made any sense. I would be curious to know, because I feel like there's something that you want to try one more time, or you could be bored with. So you could be bored with your current options, but you're being given an opportunity to try something one more time, but do so from a state of more balance. And obviously, if it's reversed for you and you're more emotional than you are logical, then flip it. Add more logic, add more strategy. Just be careful with the words that you say, because we got the Knight of Swords on the bottom. And be open to receiving input. All right, well, that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you for joining, and I will see you in the next video, Saturday, 8 a.m. Right, welcome pile number 3. This is your pile. If you've been seeing the number 32, 54, 43, 16, or 63, the letter R, N, H, or X, or the angel number 1919, or if you have your sun, your moon, your rising, or Venus in Scorpio, Pisces, or Libra. So today's reading is basically, what was your profession in a past life? In your most recent past life, I should say. And is that, or how is that affecting this life? So let's jump into it. Diplomat. Okay. Very interesting. For some of you, I think you had a very transformative role as a diplomat in the past life. And the idea of what a diplomat is. Interesting. Dude. So death in tarot, it's not literal death. It's the transformation from one form to another. This is really interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. So in this past life, when you were a diplomat, I feel like because you were a transformative influence on diplomacy, and because it's such a high stakes career, you literally in this, and I usually don't read it literally, but I feel like you literally could have feared for your life or having your life taken. How very interesting. Because you weren't willing to, because you were curious, because you were trying to get to the bottom of something, but it was being sanitized. I'm like seeing these, I'm like, investigate, sanitize, balance. Interesting. Putting others first. The number 11 could be significant for you. It's interesting that this is in reverse. I'm going to read from the book for this because I'm curious. Okay, so it says self-priority is not selfish. You have the right to set boundaries and say no. It may feel unfamiliar and even wrong to do so, but it's time to give yourself permission to put yourself first. Release feelings of guilt or obligation and definitely let go of the habit of doing for others just to gain their approval. Even if this choice requires a big shift in your actions, your soul is longing for you to prioritize yourself. I think, given the context of everything, so as a diplomat, you are out there doing for the higher good. Like you specifically in this past life, right? So that means your personal life, you were serving the higher good. So, and I'm not saying that this is the case always for all diplomats. I'm saying in this particular situation for you in your past life, pile number 3, you were so focused on being a transformative figure in policy, in the political sphere, in the world, that all else fell to the wayside, even when you were, and I was going to say, even when you were scared for your life because of the investigations and because of the policies that you were putting forth. And that could be why you chose not to get involved with other people or to bring other people that you cared about into your life. So it was a very lonely life, is what I'm trying to say. But you felt fulfilled because you were being of service and doing what you thought was right for the collective good. So this life, it's a role that you're trying to balance out. Oh, I just realized it doesn't say sanitize, it says sensitize. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So the green card is going to be the block. Denial, letting go of a false reality now allows me to join the power of the present and experience a beautiful new future. And then this is the action you can take. You got the action card. I take action now, knowing that I am completely supported in reaching my destiny. So I feel like pile 3, there can be some, when it comes to fear of death in particular, there can be some residual feedback from past lives, especially depending on how deeply rooted those fears were in reality, like if it was very likely to happen, which I'm getting that it was. And so in this life, it could be important for you to work on fostering connections. What does the collective need to know about this? So dude. So listen, pile 3. I do offer past life healing sessions on my website, higherheartwarriorchannel.com, just an FYI. But basically, this past life fear of death and transformation and change is pretty deeply rooted, and it seems to be carried over into this life to the point where it's giving you this illusion, this sense of a false reality that new opportunities to form connections are something that you should be fearful of because you're trying to protect them on some level. The thing is, though, like, in particular, there's something that you need to take action on that you're not taking action on out of self-preservation and fear. I'm so curious. It's some sort of offer that was either made to you or that you want to make, but you're not making, some kind of partnership. That'll bring balance into your life. Your work life in particular. With the bottom of the deck being the 3 of Swords, I feel like there's still a level of heartbreak and grief that's needing to be worked through. Whether that be this life experiences or past life experiences, it's still something that you need to process and work through. But you probably already know that, most likely. It's just a matter of actually facing that reality, that choice, and taking the action that you know you need to take. So what can pile 3... I don't want to leave it on that note, so I'm like, because we have the moon on the bottom of the deck. It's like a cycle. This is a cycle. This is a part of the soul's evolution to work through releasing these past life experiences so that they don't hold you back in this life. From the new emotionally fulfilling experiences that are on the horizon for you, pile 3. It's going to take a little bit of work, but you got this. Well, that was interesting. Let me know if it was interesting for you or if it resonated at all. And if it did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it greatly. I post videos every week, every Saturday at 8 a.m. So I will see you next week in the next reading. Thank you.